Hi, lovelies. This is the free weekly reading, and this is the week ahead for May 29th through June 4th of 2017. Oh my God. I always get so nervous. I always feel like I'm going to forget the date. I'm glad that I remembered. Okay. So this is, we're still in Gemini season. So what the heck does that mean? Right now, big themes for us coming up are going to be centered around communication, travel, and our siblings. And this could be your actual brothers and sisters, or this could be people that are like your brother and sister to you. So either concerns and issues going on there, or things are really good and you guys are celebrating. It's kind of like one or the other. That's kind of what it feels like right now. Also, too, with travel, just be careful right now with traveling. Just make sure that your car's well taken care of, that the mechanics in it are, doing well, that it's got an oil change. Make sure that your vehicles or your transportation is well taken care of so that you can get from point A to point B right now. And then with communication, Gemini rules like gathering all the information. These are like the librarians of the zodiac, if you will. These guys like to, or the Google. I kind of like that better, where you can kind of like ask them anything and they've got the information. They know a little bit about everything. These guys are pretty amazing. If anything, they're like sponges. They just soak up all this information. Sometimes they can soak up gossip too. So just be careful this week of gossiping or spreading a rumor. You don't want to do that. That's no fun for anybody. And there might even be a possibility that you're not getting the right information or that you're not sharing the right information. So just make sure that it's truthful, kind, and that it's right. I think that's a pretty good thing to go by. And if it's not, just don't even bother. It's not worth it, This week too, if you feel frustrated, Gemini rules the hands on the body. So do something to kind of get your energy out of your body if you need to. If you get frustrated, you got anxiety, go dig in the earth. That's a good way to ground yourself, especially since Gemini is an air sign, which means it's very, very mental. It makes sense. They like to gather information and they're processing so much stuff up in their brain. If you find that you're overwhelmed this week, get outside to ground yourself in some way, shape, or form so that you can get out of your head and remember that this is also a physical experience for you too. Balance it out, essentially. Take your hands and go dig in the dirt and work on your garden, or create something with your hands. I think I wrote down in the weekly that I wrote out, punch a jerk. Whatever works for you. I'm not judging. As long as you use your hands, I think it counts. So just make sure this week that, if you got frustrations or you feel upset about anything, that you make sure that you express it in a healthy way, at least as healthy as possible, and use your hands in some way, shape, or form. And will kind of help you to go with the themes of the season. Okay, so I picked 3 cards for the week ahead. I'm going to pull each card up in front of you. I'm going to hold it for a second. Pull the card that you're drawn to. You can choose 1, 2, or all 3 cards. Just use your intuition here. Choose what you're drawn to. All right, so here's card number 1. And here's card number 2. And here's card number 3. All right, give you a second to figure out which one that you want. I think you guys are going to like it. It's good stuff this week. Okay, so if you pick card number 1, you pulled a major arcana card and you pulled the Serenity card. And here is your beautiful card. All right. So this week for you, my friend, is going to be all about getting silent and going into some type of solitude or having some type of moment where you're all by yourself so that you can think clearly. You need to figure out your next steps. And I think that you need to retreat for a hot second in order to hear your inner intuition more clearly. This card also makes me want to say to you, maybe it's time to start a meditation practice or a yoga practice, something that helps you get centered, so that whenever you need your inner GPS, whenever you need that inner information that you can pull on, your own wisdom, that you know that that space to go to, and it's quickly accessible to you. And I feel like that's going to be an important thing for this week for you too. So if you have a meditation or yoga practice that you're already doing, maybe this week is where you kick it to the next notch. You really start to challenge yourself and pushing yourself harder. Just in terms of developing that gift more, and really working towards it, and yeah, challenging yourself here to really go deeper, be more quiet, and really try to tune in and to listen to what you are trying to say to yourself. If you notice in the background, there's a couple things of importance. There's a lake behind her, and the water is completely still. It's almost completely see-through. When water shows up in a reading, it talks about our emotions. Where are we emotionally? Are we constantly freaking out about something? Is our heart really not here and present? Because that's where you need to be. This is the only true power in this moment that you really have to do anything. So with that being said, the water being calm and quiet there and almost see-through is telling me that if you get to your space of quiet, if you find the solitude for yourself this week, you will find the answers and you will find clarity. So don't go looking if you don't really want an answer. You know what I'm saying? But if you do, make sure that you get quiet and you go to that space. Also too, when major arcana cards show up, they talk about major transformation, major evolution, major movement forward. So you've got some big things that you're dealing with this week, or there's some big things on the table here, or might even possibly come up for you. So make sure that you take that time. And that's fine and dandy, what everybody else wants to say to you and all the advice they want to give you. But really, when it comes down to it, you are the only person that has to deal with the consequences of your actions. Nobody else around you. So just remember that whenever you go to make a decision, what is it that you want here? Because you're the only one that's going to have to deal with the outcome, honestly. And not even in a bad way. It could go a bad way or a good way. But as long as it's your choice, I feel like that's always going to be the right choice for you. Duh. Also too, if you notice in the background, there's a full moon, but we can't see the fullness of it. So when full moons show up in a reading, they talk about our relationships with others and to ourselves. They also talk about something coming to a completion here. So we've got a full moon. We can see that something's trying to come to completion, but we don't have the full picture yet. So just know that things are still in motion. Things are still working in your favor and working for you in the background, even if it may not feel like it right now. So don't give up hope. Don't give up faith. Don't lose trust in that things are going to work out for you, or that things are going to come to a completion in some way, sense, or form. Just know that even if it's going on in the background, it's still working itself out. Give it a little bit more time. That way too, with that confusion where you feel like, say, for example, something should have come to a completion right now. Say you got a project and there's something snagging it up and you're not really sure what's going on. You're hearing one thing from somebody and one thing from another. Go into your office, go into meditation, get clear, and really ask yourself what your next steps need to be so that you can finish this project, or so that you can get what you need in order to move forward with your goals and aspirations. Yeah. Just know that it's going to be okay. And that if you get into this solitude, if you listen to your intuition and you really go, you get away from the crowds and you get away from people this week, it's going to do you a world of good and help you to re-up your energy as well. So if you've been feeling low and lethargic and you feel like you just can't seem to feel better or just get that energy back that you need some time to yourself. So go re-energize, get out into nature, go be near the water. I think that it'll be refreshing for you and renewing for you and remind you, of all your inner guidance and wisdom, and that you've got this, okay? All right. So if you pick card number 2, you get the 8 of Wands, and here's your beautiful card. All right. Awesome. When wands show up in a reading, they talk about taking what we're thinking about up here and turning it into tangible reality. So really, this is kind of, this is some fiery energy here. You're going to have a passionate, intense week, my friend. There's also something here as well about if you saw the 2 women with the 2 cats next to them and all these wands going towards these 2 doorways. There's something about groups and working in groups that's going to help you to move forward. There's also a call for balance this week as well. Make sure that whatever opportunities you're going towards, and my feeling is that there's 2 separate opportunities showing up for you, make sure that you balance out your energy. So whether that be home and your career, or home and health, or health and whatever the heck else you got going on. Make sure that you balance these things out and that you're not just focused on one thing. You've got more than one thing going on right now. Just make sure that your energy is properly distributed to everything that you're trying to do. Do your best. You don't have to be perfect. No one's asking for perfection, but just make sure it's as balanced as it possibly can be. And I'd like you to look at the cat as an animal totem for an extra message as well. I kind of want to say too, I'm looking at the columns in the background. It looks like there's writing on it. There's something important about you writing going forward, or there might be a book inside of you, or you might be called to write either in a personal journal or maybe a blog this week. Do something if you need to, again, get that extra energy out. If you got anxiety, if you don't know what your next steps are, write it out. It's going to help you, I think, to visually see on paper what's going on so that you can make more sense of it. Sometimes when we get stuck up in our heads about stuff, it's hard to kind of differentiate what's real here, what's just my craziness, you know, what's the reality of the situation. If you get to write it down, I think that it will help you to find that clarity. That's going to be a big key for you as well. Also too, the seed of life, holy cow. I feel like whatever you're pursuing is really, something is growing inside of you. Like there's something really potentially big here. So make sure that you take risks this week and that know that you don't have to choose for the opportunities that come up for you. Like, so if somebody's saying like you have to do one or the other, then duh, yeah, choose the one that's best for you. But I kind of want to say leave your options open and that you don't have to do just one thing in this life. So don't say that, okay, I just have to do this one thing. I'm going to forget about everything else. Even if you have to choose between the two things this week and you go for the one, keep the other one off to the side or keep doing stuff related to the other thing so that if the opportunity ever comes back around again, you can take that and now you've got more background behind it. Does that make sense? Don't give up thinking, don't give up on something else just because another opportunity shows up. Continue to make sure that your energy is going into both of them, especially if this is something that is passionate or that you're passionate about. Something that makes you happy. Also too, I kind of want to say, talk to your friends as well. Spend some time with your friends or spend some time with your closest female friends this week. There's two ladies in this card. Just make sure that you see your friends and that you get out of your house and that you stop being a hermit. Okay. Make sure that you get out or you stop just being a workaholic and you go see your people. All right. I kind of want to say though, congrats. And I feel like new adventures are ahead for you. Things are coming to a completion when 8s show up. That talks about, 9 is the completion number. So 8's kind of like building up towards it, saying we're almost there. Make sure all your ducks in a row, have everything laid out ahead of you so that whenever this thing completes, we can go on to the next. And just know that multiple opportunities for expansion, multiple opportunities for going bigger and better and higher are coming for you, my friend. And write it out. When you're in doubt, write it out. You got it. All right. And then if you pick card number 3, you get the 2 of Wands, and here's your beautiful card. All right. So again, when wands show up, they talk about taking something that we've been thinking about, something that's been ruminating up in there, and we get it out and we turn it into tangible reality. There's this theme with 2s again. The other one was 8. This one's 2. And this one talks about 2 opportunities happening as well. So I feel like you've got some decisions to make this week. But again, I want to tell you that you don't have to do just one thing in this life. And I don't feel like you necessarily have to actually choose between the 2 options. Is there a way for you to combine the 2 things into one? Or it's almost like you've got 2 different things that you can do here. How can you combine those 2 different gifts that you have and like make them into one thing? For example, I'm a medium. I'm a psychic medium. I'm also a certified crystal healer and I make jewelry. So a way for me to combine that, like I like to make house cleansing feathers or power amulets or healing jewelry. I'll take my gifts and abilities with the psychic mediumship and I'll call on the person's loved one, guides, and angels as I start to create their little work of art for them. That way I can combine both my gifts with using crystals and stones and my ability to make things out of clay or out of metal. And then with my gifts and abilities with the mediumship, see how you can combine the different things that you can do into one thing that makes you truly happy. There's got to be a way. Also too, if you notice in the card, there's a full moon in the background. This time we can fully see it. Things are absolutely coming to a culmination. Even though I want to say, since this is a Two of Wands card, 2 is at the beginning. So it's kind of like you've just started something brand new. I kind of want to say that something's already coming to a completion there. Even if that's just you realizing that, say, you have these gifts and abilities to start with. Now you're kind of saying like, okay, I recognize that I see it. I'm getting past that point. What can I do now with these? Just know that, so even if something isn't coming to a completion, there's going to be a big highlight around your relationships this week, either with yourself or with others as well. So know that, say this is between 2 suitors, make sure you choose the one that is best for your mental health and is best for your mental health. I kind of want to say that this card makes me feel as though, like, take care of your brain this week. Take care of your mental space and make sure that it's going to be easy this week for you to be split between 2 things. So just make sure that you're balanced in there. Again, the theme of balance. Knowing where you're putting your energy at all moments. Being present, being aware, being in the moment, so that you really can do the best job that you can with the time that you have. Stop freaking out about the future. Stop weeping about the past. Like, there's nothing you can do about those 2 spaces in this time and in this moment. You're being called to be present, to be here, so that you can make an important decision for you, specifically around your mental happiness. So just make sure that you take care of that as well this week. But know too that the Two of Wands is a celebratory card. This is exciting. And success is inevitable. So know that whatever you're starting now, whatever you're going towards, whether a relationship or a goal or an aspiration, that you're really going to make something big and powerful and beautiful here. But it will be a very mental week for you. And like I was saying before with the wands, when the wands show up, this talks about fire and passion as well. So just know that this is going to be a passionate, fiery week for you. Again, lots of excitement, lots of goodness. Last thing too, her hands are kind of up like this. To me, that talks about being receptive. So be receptive this week to what shows up for you. Be receptive to the information that comes to you. Make sure that you use your best judgment in terms of what you choose to believe or what you choose to follow. And make sure, again, is this something that supports my mental health and happiness? If it does, then yes, freaking go for it. Don't look back. Say goodbye, peasants, and go on your merry way. Just make sure that you do what's best for you. Know that you've got it. Last thing I want to say with this card, if you notice in the background, it's a lot of desert. There's not a whole lot of green or lushness there. Make sure that you celebrate how far you've come this week, or celebrate the good things that are happening for you, so that you feel like there's some excitement and that there's some happiness in there as well. Despite what's going on, there really is some beautiful things in the works for you and that have already happened. So make sure that you celebrate them and that you take the time, that you're not just going from one crazy thing to the other. Take a break, take a breather, and celebrate. And again, congrats, good job, and keep going. And look this week for some way to combine the gifts and the abilities that you have and to be able to doing them, combining them together so that you can do one thing. If that makes any sense at all. I really hope that does. All right. And the stone that I picked this week is Ocean Jasper. Let's see if we can get up there. Come on, focus on it. Come on, friend. So yeah, I don't know if you can see it. It's freaking gorgeous. I love Ocean Jasper. This stone is so peaceful and serene, and it reminds me of the ocean. There's even like little drusies in there. I don't know if you can see it. Come on. Don't be a jerk, camera phone. All right, it's going to be a jerk, whatever. But I'm sure you can see it. But it's a beautiful stone. It's super calming, super soothing. To me, there's almost a mothering energy to it. Not like Rainbow Moonstone or Moonstone itself, where like that's the stone for mothers. This one feels to me like the calming and soothing, like getting a hug from your mom figure that would make you feel calm and comforted. For some reason, I always associate Ocean Jasper with Mother Mary. I think that's just a weird me thing. But it always just makes me happy to have a chunk of that around. So yeah, this week, if you need to get into a peaceful, serene space, especially if you picked card number 1, this would be like the best stone ever to work with, especially in meditation. It's just going to take you to that inner quiet space, and it's going to take you deeper than you've probably gone before. Just because you're finally able to kind of shut out the other stuff, this helps you to get to that peaceful space where you can shut out the other stuff so you can just be in quiet and be in stillness. And that you're ready to. And again, ocean jasper, water is definitely associated with this stone. So yeah, being close to the water, going for meditation and taking the stone, you're going to be in your happy space, my friend. So yeah, always, always, always larger than a quarter in size, the bigger the better. And keep it anywhere on you. I would say, since it's green, to me, this is a heart-centered stone. So keep this close to your heart. That way you're always feeling peaceful and serene and happy. And that you can easily access that quiet space whenever you need your intuition. All right, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the weekly. Thank you so much for joining me again, guys. And please remember, this is your week. Make it an amazing one. All right, you guys. We'll talk soon. Have a good one.